Dear students, today's class we are going to talk about the database auditing. Okay, so we'll see about how people are going to audit the database, right? Okay, so in the database, which data you are going to audit and who is going to audit and when we are going to audit. Okay. So these things are important in the database auditing, right? Okay. So there is a difference between database administration and the data management. So database administration deals about the database security, backup, recovery, disaster, reorganization, performance monitoring, application call level tuning, data structure tuning, capacity planning. Okay. But the data management is the whatever the data you are inserting, you should protect the data, that privacy of the data. So how to improve the quality of the data and the database archiving, extraction, data extraction, metadata management, data about the data, how you are managing the data. All these things database deals. Okay, in the database auditing, there are top challenges are there. Okay, so where my sensitive data located? Really, it is located in the safest place. How I am going to enforce the access and change control policies, whom, whether I am just giving the right access or not. Okay, right access to the right people. Okay, how do I simply automate the compliance? How I am going to maintain the compliance? Okay, these things are the challenges, right? Okay, so why audit secure databases? Number one is, we are identifying the theft, okay, cost of breach. And the second thing is, standard. Okay. So for maintaining the standard, database monitoring is important. That is a regulatory compliance is important. Then database leak prevention. Okay. So sensitive data needs to be protected. Your sensitive data has to be protected. And the open accessibility. So Web 2.0 application dissolving the traditional perimeter control. Okay, it's beyond the traditional perimeter control. Okay. So in the database auditing, so when you take up a graph, you can take x-axis as the accessibility, y-axis is the how much amount of data, and here you say how much standard you are maintaining. Okay, so like this you can draw a graph, right? Okay, so database auditing is basically okay. What you are going to do it and who is going to do it, when you are going to audit, how you are going to audit. Okay. For example, so HIPAA is for the healthcare related one. Even then, someone has to audit the HIPAA. Okay. So there are many names are there for the database auditing. One is data access auditing, data monitoring, data active monitoring. Like this, there are different names are there. Okay. So this is a definition of the database auditing. Basically, the stored data, which one you are going to audit, who is going to audit, okay, where you are going to audit, how you are going to audit. You are going to retrieve and analyze the data in the database auditing. Okay. There are different, database auditing approaches are there. Okay. You can audit within the DBMS. In the database management system itself, you can audit. You can trace the changes in the table. DDL's changes, that is a data definition language changes, you can trace it. Okay. So you can audit from the transaction log files. Okay. So whenever the modification occur, we'll be putting who has modified that. Okay, that you can audit, and you can audit over the network. Okay, and audit directly against the DBMS server. That also you can audit. Okay, so native DBMS audit. Okay, so actually, if suppose you have full data, 1,000 records are there, so you no need to audit everything. But certain things are important, that alone you have to audit. That is a separation of duties. Which one to be audited? You can turn on or off by the DBA. And overhead, what is the necessary? And comprehensive capture. Okay, may not capture everything. So, whatever the things need to be captured for the compliance, whichever is related with the standard, that alone you are capturing. Okay. So, the next thing is that trace, audit, trace, native audit, trace. Okay. So, is there any changes in the authorization ID? Okay. Structure of the data or the data values. Okay. So, results of grant and revoke. Once I am giving the privilege to someone, really their worth, or they are doing malpractice or some other things. Okay. Mapping of Fedbro security tickets to IDs and also other activities. Okay, this and all can be recorded. Okay, so what are all the limitation of the DB2 audit? Okay, so we are not record old data after it has been changed. Okay, old data is not recorded. Okay, so and wild coding is not supported. That is selecting all information, or A is the character which is beginning in the name only you select. Okay, so only B character at the end you select. Okay, so select the name of the employee. Okay, so that information is not supported. Okay, so, and audit trace for only for the appropriate event. One event you want audit, that alone you are just giving the auditor. Okay. So, even you cannot audit the system catalog tables, that cannot be audited. Okay. So as what is a log? Okay. So in a database, in a transaction, every time the modification occurs. Okay, that you are keeping it as a log. Who has modified? When the people has modified the data, right? Okay. So in the log auditing analysis, there are some issues are there. One is the format issue, and volume of data is an issue. Okay, so online or archive logs, okay, that is an issue. Okay, sometimes dual usage of data could cause the some problem. Okay, so in the recovery and protection and the audit, and there is a problem, it can be in the recovery and the protection, and the tracks database modification. Okay, so transaction logs do not record information about the select. Maybe we just keep the updates and everything. We are having the database auditing, but we are not keeping the select. Okay, then and what about non-logged operation? So logging information, load log numbers, reorganization log number. Okay, so that and all having the issues in the database auditing, right? Okay, so when you go with the network capture in the auditing, database auditing, sometimes we may not give all information in the networking. Okay, so that may be the problem. Okay, so database auditing, either you can do it for the distributed environment or mainframe environment, or the databases, Oracle, DB2, SQL Server, like this, you can able to do it. Okay. So server-based database auditing recommend. Okay. So you have in the surveillance mechanism, so you can do it selective only for specific data you can give, or complete scenario you can do it, or you can do it for the non-invasive also you can do it. Okay. But the thing is the performance should not degrade it. Okay. Selective means only for the selective user or only for the selective tables. Selective database you can do it. Okay. So comprehensive means collect variety of information from the environment and you can do it. Okay. And what must be captured? Okay, it can be environment data, or it can be DBMS specific data. Okay, so all environment data, DBMS related information or object description, you can just capture it. DBMS specific data, system or user information, you can capture it. Okay, and data captured. Okay, so whenever you collect the data, before and after image of data. Okay, so the modification and also the access. Okay, so whether the copy of all data has accessed or only few rows has been accessed, right? Non-invasive. Okay. So non-invasive, when you go, should not require modification to the database schema. Okay. So you cannot modify the database schema. You cannot, change any application, and it should be, the performance and sensitive. Performance should not be degraded, right? Okay. There are additional issues are there, audit trials in tables, DBA auditing, non-standard data access, discarding audit data, proactive database security. Okay. So audit trial, you cannot, add one column for an audit. If you add one column for the audit, finally it will say the last modified date will be changed. Okay. That to be avoided. It can be kept as, separately. Then DBA auditing. Okay, everyone cannot audit, only the database administrator. Yeah, either system administrator or super user like sys ADM or DBA DM. Okay, they can alone do anything. Okay, so non-standard access. You should not allow any non-standard access. Okay, so system level wrapping, copy, tweak, and the rename. Okay. So non-standard access, you should not allow it. And long-term retention and discard. Okay. You cannot keep the data for the long time. Okay. The same data. Okay. Sometimes it will be removed with no exposure to the forensic software. Okay. So if you wanted to store long, what is the policy we are using? Okay. So tightly controlled and audited, and you can give zero out capability. Okay. So the audit analysis you can draw as a diagram. Okay. So pattern analysis, graphs you can draw it, right? Okay. So example, in the DDL, in a table, whatever you are modifying, who is modifying that data, you can maintain it. Okay. Proactive database security. You can identify the anomalous behavior user who is, who is different from the others. You can do it. Okay. You can analyze and you can keep their record. Okay. So if a person, do it something wrong, you know it as an administrator. Okay. So that things you can analyze this. Okay. So overall, who is doing, what is doing, when they are doing, how they are doing, these things has to be tracked. So thank you all.